Buyer's remorse rarely happens on moving day. There's a moment, usually a few weeks or months after moving in, when some homeowners quietly realize they're just not as happy as they thought they'd be in their new home. And most people who end up feeling this way didn't make a bad decision. They just didn't know the right questions to ask early enough. And that's the point of this video. Today I'm going to walk you through the 5 most common reasons people regret buying their new home. And instead of rattling off a list, I'm going to tell you a story. Because isn't life really just a story unfolding in the real world every single day? Now, my goal isn't to scare you either. It's to help you recognize these warning signs before they cost you time, money, and peace of mind. So sit back and relax for the next few minutes and consider some things that will help make your next home one that is going to give you cherished memories for years to come. But before our story starts, let's go ahead and get started right now. Hi, my name is Leslie, along with my husband, Stefan. Our story is about helping amazing people find the right home. As realtors, we've had the privilege of helping a lot of people do just that, and we'd be honored to help you too. Now, this is a little bit of an unusual video for us because we usually do videos about homes or the wonderful area that we live in. But hopefully this is going to help you in a little bit of a different way. The reason we're talking about this today is because moving, especially to a new area and a new home, can feel uncertain. And unfortunately, for a variety of reasons, some people do experience buyer's remorse after they move in. As realtors who understand the stress, emotion, and weight of these decisions, our goal is to help our clients, and honestly anyone watching, avoid making a choice that they're going to regret later. Now, I told you this would be a story, so let's meet Robert and Lauren and find out what happens to them. The first month went well. That was the problem. Robert noticed it on a Tuesday morning, how normal everything felt. The house wasn't perfect, but nothing had gone wrong either. No disasters, no dramatic regrets, just days stacking neatly on top of one another. Lauren stood at the kitchen counter making coffee, sunlight spilling across the floor in a way she'd grown used to. The cabinets no longer felt unfamiliar, and the echo in the living room had softened as furniture filled the space. "This is growing on me," she said casually. Robert smiled. "See, I told you," and they both believed it. The excitement had faded, but that was expected. Excitement always fades. What remained was supposed to be comfort, routine, the sense that this was where life continued. They hosted friends for dinner the second weekend. Everyone complimented the house. "Such a quiet street. Great yard. This feels like a good move for you." Lauren nodded and smiled, refilling glasses, laughing at the right moments. Robert grilled outside, feeling oddly proud. Later that night, as they cleaned up, Lauren said, "I think this was the right decision." Robert kissed her on the forehead. "I never doubted it." And he meant it. But the first crack appeared in week 5. It was small enough that Robert almost missed it. Lauren came home later than usual, dropping her bag by the front door and sinking into the couch without turning on a light. "Long day?" he asked. "Long drive," she replied. He waited for her to elaborate. She didn't. The next morning, she left earlier than usual. "Hey, I'm trying a different route today," she said, already halfway out the door. Robert didn't think much of it. Life adjusted, people adapted, and that's what adults do. But the stairs became a quiet issue. Not dramatically, not with complaints, just small adjustments. Lauren carried laundry in smaller loads. She paused halfway up, pretending to check her phone. She started sleeping downstairs once or twice a week when her knees felt sore. "Bad night?" Robert asked one morning. She shrugged. "Just tired." They both pretended that this was all it was. But by week 6, Robert noticed how often Lauren talked about things outside the house. The coffee shop that was closer to their old place, the walking trail they used to frequent, the grocery store that was just making more sense. Maybe we should explore things around here more, he suggested one evening. Maybe, she said, distracted. He could tell she was doing the math in her head again. Time, distance, energy, the same math he'd done and dismissed months earlier. The moment didn't arrive all at once. It arrived in pieces. On a Thursday evening, Robert sat in traffic longer than usual, staring at brake lights, his patience thinning. On Saturday, Lauren declined an invitation to meet friends because it's just too far tonight. On Sunday, she sat at the kitchen table, staring out the window, coffee untouched. "You okay?" he asked. She hesitated. "Do you ever feel like we moved past our lives instead of into the next one?" That question caught him off guard. "I think we just need more time," he said. She nodded, but this time the nod felt automatic. A month and a half in, the house no longer felt new. It felt demanding. The yard needed more work than they expected. The quiet felt isolating instead of peaceful. And those stairs, they felt steeper every week. And the silence between them, once comfortable, started to feel loaded. One night, Lauren said quietly, "I don't think this house works for me." Robert stiffened. "What do you mean?" "I mean," she said carefully, "it's not bad, it's just not right." And he leaned in his chair. "Well, we knew it wasn't going to be perfect." "This isn't about perfect. This is about daily life. We've only been here a month." "And in that month," she said, voice steady and strained, "I've started rearranging my life around the house instead of the other way around." That was the first real argument. Not raised voices, just truth surfacing. They tried to fix it. That was the hardest part. They rearranged furniture, they scheduled outings, they told themselves this was an adjustment, not regret. Robert started reading articles about post-move blues. Lauren joined a gym closer to work to justify the drive. They worked at it, but effort didn't change the facts. The realization came on a quiet Sunday afternoon. Robert found Lauren sitting on the bottom step of the staircase, shoes still on, keys in her hand. "You going somewhere?" he asked. She looked up at him, eyes tired. "I was, but I don't have the energy to climb back up and get the jacket that I left upstairs." Something about that, how ordinary it was, hit him harder than any argument could have. He sat down beside her. "Say it," he said quietly. She swallowed. "I don't think I can make this work." The words felt final because they were honest. What followed wasn't dramatic. It was worse. Spreadsheets, conversations about money, realizing how expensive honesty can be after a closing. They talked about staying longer, convincing themselves again, but every conversation ended the same way. The house requires us to change who we are, and that wasn't why they moved. They sold sooner than they had planned, and it cost them. Financially, emotionally, socially. They explained it to their friends with half-truths. Timing changed, life shifted, and it wasn't the right fit. But in private, they talked about the real reason. They never truly talked through their future before buying. They talked about price, they talked about features, they talked about getting the deal done. They didn't talk enough about daily routines, energy levels, physical realities, how small inconveniences can grow over time. What 10 more minutes really means when you live it every day. Those conversations should happen before the offer, because after the keys are in your hand, the house has leverage. Robert and Lauren's story is similar to what we hear from some people who come to us after buying homes in the past. Through Robert and Lauren's experiences, you've seen the most common ways buyer's remorse tends to show up. And that's exactly why the most important work we do happens before an offer is ever written. We're not here just to show houses and not just to negotiate a price and not just to get a deal done. We're here to help you understand the process and sometimes to ask the uncomfortable questions early. Because buying the wrong house doesn't usually feel wrong on day one. It feels wrong after the honeymoon, when reality settles in and change becomes expensive. We never want you to find yourself where Robert and Lauren did, standing in a house that looked right on paper, but quietly wondering why it doesn't feel right anymore. If you work with us, you won't go through this process alone. We'll have your back long before an offer is written and long after the keys are handed over. Because finding the right home isn't just about buying something, it's about protecting your peace of mind and the life you're building next. So if you'd like Stefan and me to be a part of the next chapter in your life story, just reach out to us and who knows, maybe we'll see you around town.